Welcome in, everyone. Flow and charts. If you're new to joining us, we just look at unusual flow, look at Periscope, look at market tide. I gotta close a couple of these here. I don't need all these tabs open. Um, yeah, we'll take a peek at some trades that have been coming in here. I want to look at the one I took one trade. It's been really slow to start the week here. I snaked some of these BSXs here. I really like that 620, 650 call here. They are up slightly right now. They're trading, well, about flat. I'll take that back there. Came in at 1 there. Trading just slightly green there. Plenty of time on these. These looked very good. And we'll look here. And then we can go through some of that notable flow as well, too. But these, let's come down here. These are ones that I actually found on Whale Watch if you guys were following along during that. But let me go back a page here. So pretty good looking flow here. So we start out at the bid here. It's a repeated hits ascending fill. So you get a couple ascending fills in here. We do finish off at the ask here, but what's really catching my eye in here is that IV increasing throughout the trade here. They are filling at the ask. They finish there at the ask. The thing I like seeing here is that IV increase as that price was going down. That is something that caught my eye there. Typically when that price is going down, you'd see that IV decrease as well, but IV actually increased. So I really like these. I like these for a good setup. And if you kind of look at the previous couple days there, you're seeing actually pop at 14 days here. Sorry. After that big drop there, you're just seeing kind of some call premium come in here. Looks like maybe a potential dip buy. So keeping an eye on these. I snag some of these. I like this setup here. They look really good there. Let's go through some of our notable flows. Actually, we were getting a little kind of drop there. Let's go take a peek at Periscope because we should have just got that update here. So yeah, we did. We are sitting at that 75.65 here. I would watch this level here because market makers might tend to dip by once you get to that there. This positive gamma will act as a price suppressant here. Our heaviest gamma here is at that 75.50, and this has been growing here. So if we don't hold this, it seems like it's a kind of clear path maybe back down to the low of the days. We'll keep an eye out there. A lot of that negative gamma up here too, just going to accelerate that move. Yeah, that put premiums are still up there. I'm keeping an eye on here. If we can get through that 75.65, retest it, and then reject again, I might try to snag a trade there. We'll see. We'll see. Market tide is still bearish here. Net volume is very negative here, almost at the kind of the lowest of the day there. Ask side or all put premiums and out of the money only put premiums are ask side here. This is a pretty bearish sign here. Call premiums all and out of the money only are bid side here, so this is not seeing aggressive call buying. Looks like some downside there. And if we were kind of talking about that in the stream yesterday, but a lot of that bid side call premium coming off the last couple days there. Today's our biggest day here. I would not be surprised if we see a little downward movement here in the market in the coming days. Just seeing that big bid side activity there. Let's pop this back to the day. Yeah, I mean, SPY, Nvidia, Google, Microsoft, Apple, your big names are the ones contributing to the ask side put premiums there on market tide. So pretty bearish sign there overall. And just wanted to test here. So, okay, that's kind of a good example. We could have probably stayed on here and just could have probably saw a better example. But you can see how we came to that 74.65 and we bounced there. Market makers are buying into that weakness there. And you got that little bounce here. Gotta get out of the way. So we do have a lot of negative gamma here too. I would just be cautious because price can shoot through that negative gamma here. It is a bunch of short calls though, so they typically want those to expire out of the money. With that big gamma down there at 75.50, that is, if we can get through this level here, that would be my target. But let's go through some of that notable flow alerts here from today. It's been pretty quiet today, but we can take a peek at what we got here. So let me just pop open a new tab. Pop open that new tab. Yeah, let's I'll do Avgo here quick. Keith wants to take a peek at Avgo because they have earnings today. So a couple things. I was looking at it earlier. There's not really much. They are kind of hammering the weekly calls here more so. Just kind of a lot of sporadic volume though. Nothing really major. Let me come in here and take a peek again. Yeah, and if the multi-legs aren't too high on that. Yeah, I mean they're hammering those kind of weekly calls here, and just that Avgo earnings move. This is one that we're kind of talking about in the chat earlier. This name does tend to hit its implied move, so that is good if you are looking for it to hit that implied move. Out of the last 15 quarters, it just hasn't hit its implied move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. So it hits its implied move about half the time, and more recently to the upside there. Just kind of looking at that post move. It does kind of have a favorable post earnings move here. Just kind of doing a little face value check here. Yeah, it's seen a lot of, positive moves after earnings there. Obviously, you have some in there, but it does favor kind of the positive move there. But yeah, flow wise, and I don't know where we're at for yeah, absolute gamma is at 500, so that will act like our strongest magnet and pinning zone. Just want to look at that weekly here. Yeah, that weekly, the 500. That 500 is your biggest call gamma strike there. So that's inner. Yeah, I man, if I was gonna play a lotto, I'd almost play a call on this thing. Um, yeah, I know, Keith, you always do your fun little strangles on it. Yeah, this one I just kind of watch that though. I mean, it does hit it. It's got some wide moves there. It's about a 7.5% move today. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I wonder. Yeah, that absolute gamma being at 500 kind of makes me think potentially up there. Where's our put wall? Put wall. We're sitting right in that put wall. Yeah, we're sitting kind of right on that support there. Here's your put wall 450, so we're $8 above that put level. That call, it's got a long ways to go up to get to 500 there. Oof. Yeah, all that net gamma is on the call side of things too. There is not much put gamma at all on this name. They really like that 618 expiration too, weekly expiration, and that 618. Yeah, that's very interesting to see what kind of happens with that. I got a question about Periscope here, so let me just pop this over quick here. Let me just pop this in the chat here. Yeah, I'm curious to see how Avgo does for earnings there. All right, just had to get that over there to Ocean. Yeah, yeah, I haven't seen anything super interesting opening flow wise there. We'll come back here and take a peek. Just want to see if there's anything interesting here. Get rid of some of this multi-leg stuff. Yeah, I mean, long dated, we don't care about long dated for earnings. Let me just throw. Actually, that's her only. So, okay, well, we'll just kind of look at it from this view. These could be. Oh, there's just a lot of all. Yeah, there's nothing really strictly opening Yeah, just a lot of kind of volume. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything interesting flow-wise. Just kind of a face value. Looks like calls are coming in though. Just kind of looking at it in here. Let me just take that day's expiration down here. Let's just do 15 days. Yeah, I mean, it's getting hit with calls, and there are some in the money calls here. Doesn't necessarily mean anything, but yeah, I mean that kind of top chunk here is calls here. I curious to see how that works, and I just want to look at the recent net premiums on it too. Yeah, not much. There's that call premium started to really tick up today though, towards the latter half of the session here. Um, yeah, this is an interesting one to watch there. I almost want to snag a little lotto for it, but don't. Yeah, BSX still kind of slightly green here. Yeah, let's pop in some of that notable flow here from the um list here. Yeah, quieter day again today here. These TENBs here. These were interesting. These pretty ugly bid-ask spread on this one here. It wasn't the best looking flow on this one. It was just a very unusual name you don't see traded often. So let me remove this. Come back down here to the beginning of the day. So these came in pretty much right, oh, one more page. These came in right at like 9 o'clock. So we up right. So okay, we got one more page. One more page. So it's not the cleanest looking flow. I mean, you can see that IV kind of dropping when it comes in there. Spot price is increasing, and that's a very, very wide bid-ask spread. I wouldn't want something like that just due to that bid-ask spread. But when you just kind of look, oops, come back down here. You should just kind of see, I mean, when that flow is coming in here at that 903-ish, 908-ish, you're just seeing big size come in here and just IV's kind of bouncing around. It's not the best spread there. It's not the cleanest looking flow. It's an unusual name, though. That's why I posted it there. This, I mean, you just look at the premiums on it here the last 30 sessions. This thing does not get a lot of trades on it here. And that last big spike there on the 19th, we got a massive pop after that. And I mean, we got some pops in here, a little pop after that. I wonder if we're looking for another pop because we got a lot of net call premium here today and a lot of net volume on the call side there. And I was kind of looking at, so your put call walls at 30, so it's slightly above us. Their absolute gamma's at 32, so it's going to act like that magnet there. I do like seeing all that positive gamma in there. Can see where we are here. We're right at that call wall, so I had looking for a move if you're in something like this pretty quickly because you don't want this to reject here. That call wall is going to act like resistance here. That 618 expiration does have a ton of net gamma on that call as well as that 717. It's, I mean, there's not anything put related here on that expiration table. And let's see, this one here. Yeah, I mean, you're sitting right there on that 30 there right now. I mean, you're very, very close here. You might see a 20-cent move up there. You can see that 30 is your highest dollar figure hedge there. 32, then 31, 44 days out. It is down at 28, so that's, you might see a move down to that 28 there. It's essentially Periscope here, just not the live updates there. So that 30 is your absolute gamma. I'm almost looking for it to move this week. They're just kind of based off that. Let's go back to the flow here. Yeah, not the cleanest looking flow, but I think we had some other stuff coming on today too. That 12, 18, 34 call. Yeah, not much for size, but yeah, not too much context in that there. I mean, you just got the kind of three big transactions there. Let's see. Yeah, open interest. So there's a lot of open interest on a lot of calls here, and just kind of popping it through like these here. This one might be out 526. 13. Oh, they kind of added a little bit to it there, possibly. Yeah, I mean, these are already up significantly. Nothing to really chase there. They're open, though. That's the nice thing there. These are a little messy there. Just kind of popping around in here. Yeah, a lot of these have already kind of made a big move, and that's from that prior big call, SI call premium spike there. I would, yeah, I'm just watching that kind of call wall there, though. I mean, you've got about a 1% move up to that 30, and that is your resistance there. Well, Keith already beat me to it. Um, yeah, that's you got to get through that if you want to kind of keep seeing them move. Because yeah, there's that net gamma above it there, but it's gonna act like an initial resistance here. You got to see a move through that there. But yeah, interesting flow there. Just not the best tape on that one. Let's see, what else do we got in here? Let me go back to that notable flow here. The Nokia puts here. These are they're slightly up, kind of flat there. They came in at 50. I mean, trading at 53, 55, up maybe about 10% on those there. Yeah, still trading at that 55ish. Yeah, just nothing super major. This is a very high volatile name. IVs, they're not super bad on this one, but you see that IV spike when it comes in. Spot is filling at the ask here. These look good overall here. Net premiums today, puts are kind of flat, but I do like seeing those bid side calls on Nokia here. That could be some profit taking. People getting out of calls could be a good sign. And that highest volume here, again, just pretty mixed here. You're not really seeing anything super interesting there. But for our open contracts, let's just go in here and look. I want to leave the multi-leg on there. Okay, so I wonder if this is a roll. Oh, big no side. So we're not even going to look at the big no side. That's 41% in the money. Um, yeah, I mean, you're getting the 17. Oh, no, 17 put. This one is a little messy there with the bid and mid and 73% there. How about these 17 puts? Yeah, I have to check open interest on that. Not the cleanest directional flow either. The 15.5 is the one that we're keeping an eye on here. You can see that one there. 16.5. These look like they're still open here. 2 days on them. Big multi-leg though. Let's just see if it's maybe a roll or something easy to kind of look at here. Are they rolling them out? Yes, they are rolling them. So they're closing that 15.5 and they're rolling them to the 16.5 there. Same expiration though. So that could be interesting there. And the 18 put a little longer dated here, but clean opener here. Essentially flat 7% in the money, so and not probably looking to be a short there in the money there. These are, yeah, very interesting here, and just kind of looking at, I want to look at that gamma wall on this one too. So we're right in the middle of that call wall and put wall there, though. I mean, pretty much right dead center on that. Net gamma does still kind of favor the call side expirations there. Just wanted to kind of be a little cautious on 2 days out here. Yeah, I mean, you're just sitting in that really big positive gamma here, so you maybe see a little selling possibly. 15, I mean, you're at the highest strike here at 17, so you might see a little pullback there. I would not hold shorts on a name like this that volatile for that long, but flow wise it looks good. You get the IV spike, spots filling at the ask there. Let's see. Hey, you can bring Bean can cater Chick-fil-A to everybody. I will take it. Hey, perfect. Make me some good chicken, because I've actually never had like good chicken from them. Alright, let me pop open one more Let's see, notable. So we looked at the BSXs already. That was pretty good. These BE puts were also pretty interesting here. These hit the tape here. Definitely an opening trade there. You got 4,900 total contracts coming in there, about 4,600 between those. These look kind of like a momentum here, but you get a good IV spike when they come in there. Spot is filling at the ask here. All our fills are pretty much at the ask here. You got a couple stranglers that are not at the ask. But this one, let's pop back here again. That put premium has just been climbing all day on this here. Your net volume is very negative as well here. This is a nice opening trade. 9 days out, 15% out of the money. You know, just be kind of cautious with that timing. Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at the contracts. I mean, you're not see. I mean, it's a lot of ask side puts kind of hitting the feed here. That's the one we were looking at there. 220 as well, still in. 200. This is kind of flat, slightly up there. These I might lean more of a sell here. I mean, 2 days out, 30% out of the money. I'd probably lean short on those. Yeah, there's a lot of it. This is a name that likes to move too. Just kind of looking at that 2 day there, your biggest gamma strike there is at 265. So that would be a very nice drop if you could see something like that. There's a little positive gamma up at 290. I'm looking at that 15 day. Ooh, that 15 days got 260. So yeah, that 260 is a big level there. Absolute gamma at 245 will act like your biggest magnet and pinning zone. That's about a $40 move down there. Our call wall is at 300 here. If you come back here and look at that stock price here, we were trading at 300 yesterday. It's going to act as your resistance. You can see we're trading at 300. There's your kind of selling into that strength more so there. So let's pop it back here. Put wall, where's our put wall? Yeah, you don't have really any major support till 260. I just want to pop it open on this one. And you can see that gamma is pretty non-existent. There's not a ton of positive gamma spikes in there versus like when you look back here where there's a ton of it there. Again, just when I talk about those kind of imbalances and those like back here, 610 of last year here, I mean, this is what should be catching your eye. Your price is way below here and your positive gammas all up here. It can take a while, but that price likes to, quote, fill the gap, unquote there. Can take a while, but now you're seeing kind of some negative moves there. It might be time to come back down. Looking at that gamma exposure price strike here again, there's that call wall we were talking about. We're just coming off that 300 here. There's not a lot of net gamma to kind of hold us up here. That net gamma is on the put strikes here, so you might see a little acceleration through here. Maybe touch that put wall at 260. But there's not a lot of big levels in here, and that net gamma is on that put side there. If I just close this and you just look at the net gamma here, there's your spot. I mean, it's gonna act like acceleration through here if you get a good move. You can just see how strong that move is today coming off that 300 too. Your expirations, yeah, I like the short term, the 6.5 there, the 6.12 also. 6.18 does have that net gamma on the call side of things though. This looks like it's our heaviest one here too. Yeah, so maybe short to actually that weekly is your heaviest, but might see that change after tomorrow. Yeah, I like seeing the short term with that kind of 9 days out on those. And yeah, I mean, that's all we really had for the notable flow today. It was very, very quiet. I do want to kind of go back and show everybody one that we looked at earlier in the week here. These BRKBs. Very interesting flow here. You had an ad or two big multiple ask side hits here on Monday. All of that carried over. We have another big hit today here too. at that 461 level. I do want to check that open interest tomorrow just to see if it's another position add potentially there. But yeah, these absolutely pop there on those. But yeah, that's kind of all I really had for decent looking flow here. Let me see if I can catch up with the chat. Just nuggets, so calls on nuggets. Mickey D. Hey, I actually had McDonald's for lunch today. Um, yeah, yeah, Bean. We can go back to BSX here. This is one that I like, and I actually kind of took here. Let me oh, I got it right here. These look good. Very clean opener here. You got 8,600 contracts coming in against 225 open interest contracts. They're break even, maybe like up 1% there, give or take. I mean, they hit about 7% there, nothing major there, but sitting kind of break even here. 23 days out, plenty of time on those. I snagged some of these. What I was kind of talking about earlier here too, so you can see we're kind of starting out at the bid here. Just keep an eye on that IV here. So it's marking it as an ascending fill. You have a couple fills here filling above there. It's mostly at the ask. This all turns to the ask at then. Pay attention to the IV here. So we're at that 4808 right now. You see that IV kind of rising when it comes in. Now, what caught my eye kind of specifically on this is that price is dropping here, and you see that IV rise again here. This is a really interesting look here. I snagged some of these. Yeah, I like this setup here, and yeah, it's when I see that price drop, because usually that IV will drop a bit when that price drops too, but that IV increased. I like these here, and just kind of coming back to this one here too. Look at the net premiums over the last like 14 days here after that big pop up there. You had the gap down there. We've had some ask side calls starting to kind of hit that tape there. Maybe looking for a dip buy. We looked at the gamma here. Absolute gamma is at that 6750. I mean, that's a very, very wide, high absolute gamma there. You look at our put wall here. Oh, it's not that close there. Call wall is kind of where we're at right now. Let me just pop it over here. But you see all that positive gamma coming in here. That's a good sign. Here, yeah, your put wall's down at 25. When they're that far away, I kind of disregard them a little bit there. This your net gamma does kind of you got some on the put side of things here, but you got some on the call sides here too. I like that net gamma for the expirations though. That 612 is getting a lot there. That 1218, these obviously aren't 1218s. Yeah, that 626 is getting some net gamma on the put side of things there, but I like that flow, and there's also some other flow. You look at that highest volume contracts. There's kind of a lot of ask side calls coming in here. So this is our big one here. You got another one on that 612.49 here. Just would want to double check that open interest, but it kind of looks like most of that should be there. It might be related to this big cross trade no side volume. Hard to know. The 618 here. These are kind of brand new, maybe. I want to see when this stuff kind of came in. So February. So yeah, I mean, maybe they were short calls there, 97, and they're getting bought back there at 4 cents. That would make more sense to me. Let's do a pop through on this one too. Yeah, I'm looking at that volume over open interest here. I mean, you got the 15-day out ones here. These are coming in today. Kind of a lot of volume on this one. I'd double check that open interest, but different size candles I would kind of assume most of that should carry over. It doesn't, not fully directional because you got some mid and bid side on that. This is absolutely nothing to look at there. And that 43 bid side. So it looks like that bid side and those mids are related to each other. I bet you anything here if we look at that. Yep. So hard, we don't know what's going on there at all. Actually, hold on. It's just for the fun of it. Yeah, that's don't know. But yeah, I like the BSX. I took some calls on that. I'd love to see it come back up to what it was trading at. Oops. Week ago when we were up at 51 there. That would be wonderful. Give me a nice gap up. That would be wonderful. Um, yeah, so yeah, that's BSX there. I like the flow. I thought the flow was good. That's one that we caught on Whale Watch actually earlier. Let me just clean up a couple of these tabs here. All right, let's see. So we got yeah. Hey, no, that's we covered it right before we kind of hopped in. So no, that's fine. I don't mind covering it a couple times at all. So okay, we got the BB11 call 618 from Pipsy here. Let's take a peek here. Let's take a peek here. So this one, I'm just gonna kind of see. So it looks like a lot of that volume started coming in there on 526, carried over. I want to look at that 527 because you got 2,000 contracts and 782 carry over. Then you're just seeing a lot of volume and not open interest changes. I think there's just a lot of contracts changing hands on this one. Let me just do 14 on this one. Yeah, this one's a little tricky. So this is kind of that start of the flow there. So you're just kind of seeing, spike there, bunch of kind of sporadic volume in here, and you're just seeing none of that volume really carry over into open interest. It's not the cleanest setup there overall. We can see if there's anything else on BB though. Go here. Let's see, anything else on BB today? Maybe these 71710 calls, possibly. There's already kind of a lot of. So these look good in real time, but we got a lot of open interest on these, and it looks like maybe something from 527 potentially getting taken off, which could make a little sense there. There's your 527, some big entries there. Seeing ask side hits here at 160 and 159. My guess is they're probably taking some profits on the down day. Let's see if we can find anything else in here. Just trying to look to see if I can find that volume greater than open interest. Yeah, not really too much in here. Let's just pick one here. Go to that overview page here. BB. So 14 days out. Yeah, I'm seeing some bid side call premium here. My guess is getting out of that position there as we're kind of seeing that as that price goes up. I could see some profit taking going on there, and obviously in your big spike back there on 518 and your kind of gap is filled there too. Yeah, we can look at Avgo again there, Bean. I wasn't seeing much for flow on it there. I'll show you what I kind of found, but we can take a peek there. Um, yeah, BB, I'm not seeing too much. There's just a lot of bid side calls. I'd kind of maybe look at that as potentially bearish there. You are seeing a lot of negative net volume. How about these oh, these are the ones we looked at today. Yeah, these look like they're probably profit taking there. Let's just look at your gamma profile on these quick. Yeah, your gamma's kind of decreasing there. You're sitting on the support though, which is interesting to me. You're sitting right on that put wall at 10, call walls at 11. The net gamma is kind of saying up there. Um, yeah, net gamma is on the call side expirations here, so that is very interesting there. Yeah, I mean you can see we're sitting in that support right now. Let me just look at the Yeah, so you're sitting there at 10 pretty much. About that 15-day out one. Yeah, that 10 seems to, yeah, 10's your absolute gamma. We might be pinned here for a little bit. Yeah, good find there. Avgo there. Yeah, Bean, you might have joined after I already talked about it, but I was leaning if I was gonna take a lotto call on or a lotto play on it, I was gonna kind of lean calls. Look at that earnings move that we're seeing on it there. That implied move has it's hit that implied move pretty frequently here. Um, Especially kind of to the upside more recently. Let's come in here. Yeah, I said I kind of like seeing that net call premium pick up here towards the end of the day. And flow wise, let me just pop this here because we were I'm just kind of looking at, let me throw that days to expiration on here and get rid of some multi-leg stuff. Days to expiration, let's just do 30. There's a lot of calls coming in here. A lot of calls, nothing like strictly just kind of opening wise though. If I look here, I mean, there's just a lot of volume on these, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. And a lot of these are in the money too, or very close to the money. That 500 getting a lot there too today. This one, yeah, this one's just very messy. There's a lot of volume on that one overall. Have five these. I mean, everything's just kind of. I mean, it's not really directional flow on any of it. Ooh, how about these here? That 730. Oh yeah, see, it's tons of volume on here. 50% out of the money. Yeah, it's interesting. And the other thing here, we were looking at that gamma on it here. Your absolute gamma is at 500. That is a pretty long distance from here. And you can see, I mean, your put wall's way down there at 450. That call wall's up there at 500. That's your absolute gamma. That's going to act like your magnet pin. I mean, obviously earnings, anything can be said during the call or anything, and anything can happen. But yeah, I mean, I'm eyeing that five. I want to see how much the 500's priced at actually, just for 500. Oh yeah, okay. I'm not paying that much for a lotto there. I mean, man, these are so expensive there. I mean, hey, if you're taking a lot, man, they're so far out of the money where you need a big move. What's the actual dollar figure move here on this for earnings? Well, 38 bucks or 36 bucks. Yeah, that's gets you that 7% move there. Yeah, it's interesting. I just kind of based off that absolute gamma though. And I was kind of looking at that 2-day here. Look at your big spike there. That's your 500 there. There is not really a ton of positive gamma besides that there. That is going to be your magnet there. Even kind of looking at the 5-day there. There you got it on 530. 7 days out, you do have a little to the downside though. But yeah, that 2-day one's really interesting to me there with it being at 500. I'm curious to see what happens overall there. And your support's really far down there at 450. But I mean, the put wall area here. I mean, you're kind of sitting in that support already. But yeah, that's your heaviest there at 450. Let me go back here to that on here. So here's your 450. So I mean, this is kind of your second biggest spike there. But yeah, a lot of that net gamma is to the upside there. There's not much going on the put side of things here. That put gamma, like if I just get rid of put gamma and call gamma, it's all on the call side here. So I mean, that's very interesting to me there. I'd like to take a little lotto too, but man, $40 move on something like that, you got to get a big move there. Um, Yeah, but I mean, if I remove that call and put here, I mean, where's all your net gamma at? It's all on the call side of things there. So that's kind of why I was potentially leaning that call side if I was going to take a lotto. I don't think I am. It takes a lot for me to take a lotto, especially on earnings. The one bad thing kind of though, it is getting a lot of oh, there's your call premium coming and dipping there, but yeah, your net volume is very negative here. Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens because I mean, you look at their earnings too. I mean, they've missed the last 4 quarters, and I mean, they typically miss their earnings there, and it you get the big reactions when that happens. But yeah, I mean, if I were to play a lotto on that, just kind of basing that off the flow here too, just the kind of face value side of things there, I'd lean calls there too. If I can find a cheap one here. Let me see if I can find a cheap one here. You're talking me into it, man. That's not good. I mean, that's 690. That's so far there. I mean, I mean, these things barely have a delta there. You need a massive move on something like that. It's a lotto. It's a lottery ticket. It's a lottery ticket. That's all it is. Let's just do a quick pop through here and see what's going on. So a lot of kind of changes in here. Haven't looked at this for a little bit. So let's go back to 2 o'clock here. So okay, we're testing that at 2 o'clock, negative gamma. So we're kind of looking at that 75.65. 70. We held at that 75.65. So we didn't really go down and test that. Let's just see how that update looks. So yeah, it came back up to the negative gamma, rejected. That positive gamma kind of dropped off there. So I would have been kind of looking maybe potentially short there with that negative or that positive gamma kind of dropping off there. But that 75.50 is also dropping at the same time. So we got a couple updates here. Then you have this negative gamma grow here too. This negative gamma's up here too. Yeah, it's kind of bouncy, and then that positive gamma grew again there. And then here's our negative gamma where we are now. If I was brave here, I might take a short here, and you know what? Maybe I will, because we are in a decent looking spot here for a potential short, and we don't have any positive gamma to kind of suppress us here. I'm going to take a short, actually. I'm going to take a short here. Oops, did I take that twice? I did. Oops. Oopsies. That's fine. Put a tight stop on it there. So, okay, we'll see what... yeah, that's, I didn't want to do that, so I'll get out of these kind of quick if we don't get a rejection there. But I like that setup there, because, oops. Okay, get out of the way there. Because we're sitting right on that negative gamma. It's a short call position there, so they don't want those to drop. But yeah, you can see a quick move through here. So let's say, oh, we are up. We are up. I'm going to adjust up here. We're up a little bit. Up a little bit more. We're getting our move there. There's our move. Look at that. Look at that. There's our move. Ah, flatten both. There we go. Hey, look at that. There's a quick little scalp there. Look at that. Look at that. There's our scalp there. But you can see how we kind of quickly moved through that. Yeah, Bean, why are you yelling at me? Stop yelling. So yeah, it's probably going to move down a little bit more, but look at that. You can see once you get to that negative gamma, kind of what I was talking about. We got that good rejection at 75.70. You're seeing that move, that quick move through that negative gamma here. So I would almost target that 75.50 potentially there. I mean, actually, I'm taking that back there. I mean, you got a lot of negative gamma. It's short puts here too, but that long puts outweighs it there. I like that scalp that we did there. I'd maybe just target to be safe that 75.60 there, so maybe another $7 there. I hope. Oh, NY just please tell me you saw me take that little future scalp there. Please tell me you came in and saw me take that little future scalp. But yeah, you're seeing us kind of move there too. Yeah, I mean it bounced on that 20-day EMA, so I mean we got a good little scalp there. We got a good little scalp there. Yeah, well, I'll take it. That's all we need for the day. That's perfect. I'm finally not getting wicked out on my stuff there after Friday. Friday sucked there. I like the downside moves. The downside moves are pretty aggressive there, so I like the bearish sign. I just just one tweak can make us go up. That's the only thing that kind of gets me scared. But yeah, you can see how that 75.70 is acting as resistance here. So obviously I'm on micros right now, but there's your 75.70 right there. There's your perfect rejection there, right in line with Periscope. I should have did ES. That would have been a like $80 play. Um, why are my lines not? Oh, I was sitting here. I'm like yesterday's high pre-market. I was like, why are my lines not coinciding with my strikes there? But yeah, so we took a good scalp there. We got out at a good spot there. That 20-day EMA's hitting right, or it's bouncing right at that 20-day and that 150-day. But let's see, we'll get another update here right at MOC. But yeah, that was a perfect little rejection there. Perfect rejection there. And yeah, I mean, you got short puts there, so I mean, they obviously don't want the puts to be in the money, but you got your really long, you got 13,000 long puts here right now, so that's interesting. But you can see, I mean, it rejected here, that 75.70, it's negative gamma, but it's short calls there too. So we'll keep an eye on this here. We'll have another update. All right, any new flow coming in here? It's really quiet flow today. How about these MRVL puts here? Oh, these are a new position. These are new. These look spicy. 43% out of the money, though. Kind of far. Let's just take a peek, though. So, ooh, nice IV spike there. Yeah, these look spicy. Good spot price increase there. It's all the same. Yeah, these look good here. I think MRVL is just absolutely. Was it trucking yesterday? Let me just see. Oh yeah, I mean that thing's up almost $80 there. Yeah, okay, yeah, these look good. These look good. I was like, they're pretty far out of the money, but these look pretty good. Pop these in that chat there. See, I'm happy we wouldn't look back at the flow there. I'm happy we did that there. All right, let's pop these in here. All right, pretty volatile name though. Tile name. If he increases a couple times and spot price increases, rising net put premium. Yeah, these look interesting there too. Yeah, I like that rising net put premium. That net volume is very negative too. What else do we got going on this name? Wow, where are you? MRVL. Yeah, not much else for, yeah, there's your 612 172 puts. This is your cleanest looking piece of flow here. Let's just look at our gamma here. Call walls up there at 320 there. Absolute gamma's 320. Yeah, I mean, it can keep kind of ripping. This obviously comes from open interest, so kind of keep that in mind. What's that 2-day look like? Oof. Yeah, it's little risky, but I like that flow, especially after that run up. You got some time on them too there. I mean, look at that gap up there. I mean, we were trading at 223 there on Monday. We're trading at 301 right now. I mean, that's a $78 move in 2 days on. Don't know if there was news on this. Any news on this? No, I don't think so. I didn't see anything with CMRVL. Anything newsworthy on it. Oh, it's because Nvidia was talking, but that's why okay, yep, that was yesterday. That's why it popped up there. So there wasn't really a fundamental change, I don't believe. I know Nvidia was talking about it. If I'm wrong, correct me. But yeah, I mean, look at this. Look at this thing. And I mean, that's a nice candle today. It's already lost about $24 on that move. But yeah, just from that gap up. from Monday there. I mean, it's a 47% move there in the stock. So yeah, I kind of like those puts. Like those puts. All right, let's see how our Periscope's doing here. Get another update here in a minute. Market tide's still bearish. Yeah, we're starting. Oh yeah, you're starting to see that move down. There's that move down. That's the candle we wanted there. But you just see how it hits that 75.70. It's short calls. It's rejecting here. You got the big positive gamma down here. Now again, there's our update. Let's take a peek there. So okay, now we have some negative gamma kind of form above us here. So it's kind of eyeball here. Yeah, I'm thinking we're gonna see some wild price action here. I mean, it's still. I mean, that 75.50 is your biggest strike there. We might finish near the low of the day there. That's kind of it's gonna act as our magnet there. Man, what a call on that initial entry there though. I knew I should have held them a little bit longer, but I'll take it there. 75.70 and it's a $10 drop. Yeah, that's a clean little move there, and yeah, there's that entry, and there we are. Almost, we got a ways to go to get to that low there though. Little ways to go there, about $10. I don't know if we have it in us. But yeah, all that negative gamma here is going to be very interesting to kind of see. I don't like playing in the negative gamma zones like that when there's a bunch there. Now, like before here, when you just had the one and there's nothing really above us, price isn't really going to magnet to anything else up here. There's not really any other setup up here. So this is kind of acting as your resistance. We got it. You got positioning down here. That's good. But now on that update there, you're just kind of in the middle of negative gamma. You can get a quick couple moves in there. Not worth it this late in the day, especially after that solid trade. Yeah, I took like 4 trades today. That's it. 4 little scalps on it. That's all you need. All right, anything else for flow? More NUs coming in here. Oof, this thing's getting some power coming into close. We had NUs yesterday, and a lot of those. Oh, are these the same NUs that we had yesterday? I want to look at those NUs that we had yesterday, because I know we had a dip buy yesterday. Let me go find those. NU. Okay, yeah. Where am I blind? NU. In here, so okay, here we go. The 821.14 call. Okay, so these, yeah, the NUs from yesterday. Let me pop this open here. Yeah, the NUs from yesterday. Yeah, that was I think that whale got out yesterday. You got 52,000. I mean, you're missing about 7,000 contracts in that volume there, and you're about 27,000, 37,000 there. Maybe this whale is still in here. It's just a lot of smaller volume trading off there. I mean, 39, they ran up to 55. I mean, I'm getting out after that. I don't care if I got 79 days in there, but 39, they're up still. They're up still, technically, if that whale's still in. Yeah, let's not add another NU. I don't really like the double adding there. Well, we'll look at it here. Maybe we'll see. We'll look at it here and see how it looks. Yeah, IV spike, and then you get the IV kind of drop here after as that price goes up. So this is kind of vice versa from that BSX flow there. So that price is going up. Now we can't assume this is part of that trade there. It's just really small volume. I'm just kind of assuming it is there based off that timestamp being all the same second. I'm just going out on a limb and going that. I mean, it's 30, 40 seconds later. So, I mean, it's tough. But if it's truly related to it, I see that price going up and that IV dropping. I don't like seeing that there. It's hard to tell. I'm not going to post another NU one just because we already got one. That's fine. Um, I just opened up the chat again just to see what you guys are talking about. You guys are funny. Silly, funny people. Grr, what is grr? This is a bid side call though. 64% out of the money. Yeah, too long dated to even really care about that. Let's see. More MSTR puts coming in here. MSTR again. When do we have earnings on that? 57 days. Not really worth it. Yeah, I want to see what happens with these Marvel puts here. I like these. These are very interesting to me, especially after that run up there. Let's see, anything else for flow? Bid side pretty clean. Spy flow's been kind of meh today. Yeah, we are just kind of chopping here. What a good trade live there, especially after Friday. Stupid wick outs on Friday got me, but we had a good day yesterday and a couple on Monday too. Yeah, you see how we're kind of chopping here right now. You're chopping between some short puts here and short calls there. Yeah, barring a big, quick, fast candle there. I mean, I don't think we're gonna get down to that 75.50. Might just kind of pin in this area here between those short calls and short puts there. They are still slamming those 0-day puts. Yeah, I wouldn't take anything this late in the day though. Anything else? Nothing flow-wise. Any changes to the market tide? Call premium slightly ticked up. How are those BSX calls doing? Oh, they're break even. But yeah, break even. One of the only green names apparently on the day. Look at that heat map. I want to say look at the heat map here. Oh, I mean, it's just kind of your big mags that are kind of dragging us down. Give me like a 5% gap up on BSX tomorrow. It'd be nice. Be nice. Yeah, you can see my flow list of trades that I took this week. Not very lightly, just those MU short puts from last week in the BSX. I mean, it's been, yesterday was abysmal for volume, and then today, I haven't even came back and looked yet. I mean, you're still really low volume there for, well, better than yesterday, but there's just not a lot of good flow right now, and that's okay. You don't need to trade every single day. That's how you blow your account. You don't need a trade every day. You don't need 1,000 trades. Okay, I guess we're not going to pin in that area. We might go and touch that low of the day. Wow. Well, are we going to actually finish near that low of the day? Oof. What a red candle there. I guess we might. Look at that volume. That's nasty. Man, that was that entry there. 75, 81. $10 drop there. All right, there's our closure. Yeah, I mean, we came close. We didn't really hit it there, but hey, look at that. Good trade on live there. I will take that. I will take that. I'll take the flow. I just gotta see if BSX is still kind of green here, and then we can wrap it up here. Finished up 1%. Let's go. That's yeah. Well, I mean, I got on Friday when we were in here. Friday was not good for me because I got wicked out like throughout the day, and I was just that was a bad day. So I gotta trust the data, and I gotta not have my stops so close. But I don't care if I got a trail up on a candle like that. Yeah, we needed a red day. We needed a red day. But all right.